Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Right now, I want you to pay close attention because what I'm about to reveal could completely change the way you understand the women in your life. Imagine for a second that the woman you've been chasing, wondering if she's interested or not, is actually sending you signals you've been too blind or too impatient to notice. You might think she's indifferent or that she's just being friendly, but the truth? If she's acting like this, she's already yours, and most men completely miss it. Here's the first thing you need to grasp. Women communicate in ways that aren't obvious, but once you start recognizing the patterns, the world changes. It's not about the words she says, it's about what she does when no one is watching, her energy, her subtle gestures, the micro-expressions that flash across her face for a split second. You see, a woman doesn't waste that energy on just anyone. If she's investing her presence, her attention, her time, even in ways that feel casual, it's a sign that her mind is already leaning toward you. She's imagining a connection, even if she won't admit it out loud. Think about how she behaves when she's around you. Does she laugh a little too hard at your jokes, even the ones that aren't funny? Does she mirror your movements without realizing it? This is not coincidence. It's a deep, instinctual way she's signaling comfort, attraction, and emotional investment. Her subconscious is speaking directly to you, and it's saying, I want this. Most men overlook this because they're fixated on bold declarations or overt flirting. But in reality, the quiet, almost invisible ways she moves around you reveal far more about her feelings than words ever could. And here's something most men fail to see. The moment a woman starts showing these behaviors consistently, she is psychologically investing in the idea of you. She's mentally rehearsing scenarios where you're present in her life. She's creating emotional space for you, even if she's not saying it aloud. That's the difference between curiosity and ownership. If she's doing these things, it means she's already imagining us before you've even put the label on it. Before we go further, do this. Look at the woman in your life with fresh eyes. Notice her micro-expressions, the little ways she seeks connection, the moments she offers subtle validation. These are not small gestures. They're indicators that you are already occupying her emotional landscape. Understanding this is the first step toward not just noticing her feelings, but responding in a way that deepens the bond in a completely natural, magnetic way. Now, let's go deeper, because this is where most men completely misread the situation. A woman doesn't need to tell you she's interested. Her body, her energy, her focus on you speaks louder than any words ever could. One of the most powerful signs that she's already invested in you is the way she prioritizes subtle attention. Notice how she remembers the smallest details about your life, your favorite drink, the way you laugh, something you mentioned in passing weeks ago. To her, these are not trivial notes. They are mental bookmarks. She's mentally organizing a world where you exist, where you matter, where you are significant. And most men, they dismiss it as friendliness. That's a huge mistake. Women are wired to test your emotional stability before they fully commit. If she teases you, challenges you, or even pretends to be indifferent at times, it's not rejection, it's a mirror. She's observing how you respond when she creates emotional tension. Does your presence calm her, or does it falter? Does your confidence grow, or does it shrink? The way you react in these subtle tests actually shapes her perception of you more than anything else you could say. And here's the key. She's not playing games because she's cruel. She's protecting her emotional energy. But if you recognize her patterns, you stop being a participant in uncertainty and start being the man she's already imagining. Another overlooked signal is consistency. Women rarely give more of themselves than they intend to invest. If she's consistently reaching out, showing up, or creating moments of closeness, it's not by accident. Every coincidence is intentional. Even when she appears distracted or busy, she finds ways to reconnect because subconsciously, she's already prioritizing you. Her actions are creating emotional gravity, drawing you in, even before she allows herself to say, I want this. Men often misinterpret these behaviors as casual friendship, but they are not casual. They are calculated by her subconscious to test and invest simultaneously. And here's the truth most men fail to understand. Women communicate emotionally, not logically. She doesn't need to announce her feelings. Her behaviors already do it for her. Look at how she interacts when she believes no one is observing. Those fleeting smiles, lingering glances, gentle touches. They are invisible markers of ownership. She is imagining life with you, even in tiny, imperceptible moments. She's creating a mental space where you exist, and if you start noticing these signals, you realize that her attachment began long before you even consciously noticed it. Pay attention to these hidden patterns, because they are the invisible threads weaving her emotional investment in your direction. Once you recognize them, you stop chasing illusions and start responding in ways that feel magnetic, natural, and irresistible. The truth is, she's already built a mental picture of you. She's already imagining the bond, but she's waiting for you to fully step into it with awareness, confidence, and understanding. Now, let's talk about the behaviors that most men completely overlook, the almost invisible signals that reveal she's already emotionally hooked on you. These aren't dramatic gestures, they're quiet, almost imperceptible cues that only a man who truly understands female psychology will notice. The first is the way she mirrors you. Watch closely. Does she copy your posture, your hand movements, even your tone of voice, without realizing it? This is not coincidence. It's a subconscious sign of connection. When a woman mirrors you, it means she's comfortable, attuned, and internally aligning herself with your energy. She's not just around you physically, she's syncing with you mentally and emotionally. Another sign is the way she subtly tests your attention. She might bring up a topic she knows you care about or lightly challenge your opinions, not to argue, but to see if you're present, confident, and consistent. How you respond in these moments reveals your stability, your self-assuredness, and your ability to hold emotional space for her. These tests are not games. They are her way of confirming that the bond she's feeling is safe, that the man she's mentally investing in is worth her energy. If you falter, she recalibrates. If you remain grounded, she leans in further. Pay attention to how she interacts when she believes no one is watching. A fleeting smile when you enter a room, a subtle shift in her body toward you, the way her eyes linger slightly longer than they should. These are indicators that her attention is anchored on you. She's creating emotional patterns that include you, even in moments that seem insignificant. Every small act of subconscious connection is her way of reinforcing attachment, even before she allows herself to consciously admit it. Also, notice how she prioritizes you in small ways. Maybe she shares things with you she doesn't share with anyone else, or reaches out when she doesn't need anything. She's subtly signaling exclusivity. Her subconscious is saying, "This man matters. He's not just another person in my life. He's someone I want to include in my inner world." Most men see these gestures as normal or friendly, but these are markers of emotional investment. The final point is how she communicates when she's happy, excited, or even stressed. Does she instinctively reach out to you for support or share her victories first with you? That's a deep sign of emotional trust. She's already giving you access to her internal world, the world she reserves for those she values most. Understanding these behaviors is like having a roadmap to her subconscious. When you see them, you realize she's not just interested, she's already imagining a future that includes you. Now that you've learned to recognize these subtle, almost invisible signs, it's time to understand how to respond. And this is where most men completely derail themselves. When a woman is showing these behaviors, she's already emotionally leaning toward you, but how you react determines whether she closes the gap or pulls away. The first rule is this: never overcomplicate it. Confidence isn't loud or desperate. It's calm, grounded, and measured. You don't need to chase, beg, or prove yourself. Your presence alone, when steady and consistent, amplifies her subconscious investment. She's already imagining a bond with you. Your calm assurance confirms it. Respect her mental space while remaining present. Women feel most drawn to men who create emotional safety without suffocating them. If she mirrors you, shares secrets, or seeks your attention, respond in ways that validate her without appearing needy. A simple acknowledgement, a subtle compliment, or a quiet moment of shared understanding goes farther than grand gestures. She's observing your consistency, your stability, and your ability to remain unmoved by minor fluctuations in her attention. This is what makes her feel safe and understood on a deeper level. Timing is everything. If she's reaching out, laughing at your jokes, or subtly testing your patience, mirror her energy but maintain control over your own. Don't overextend yourself emotionally or try to win her affection. Women are instinctively drawn to men who can hold themselves with quiet strength while still engaging emotionally. She's already drawn to you. Your role now is to reinforce that gravitational pull without creating friction. Every reaction, every word, every action should subtly affirm that you are the stable center she's already aligned with subconsciously. Pay attention to her micro-reactions. A slight smile when you respond thoughtfully, a quick glance when you speak with confidence, a gentle laugh when you tease her lightly. These are indicators that your approach is working. They are her emotional feedback system. Most men fail here because they either overanalyze or misread these cues. Instead, respond naturally, with grounded self-assurance, and she will continue leaning in. Finally, remember this: women are always testing emotional resonance, not just attraction. Your ability to remain consistent, calm, and attentive without losing your independence is what solidifies her subconscious investment. She's imagining life with you. Your reactions determine whether that imagined future becomes tangible. Every subtle gesture she gives you is a door. How you respond decides whether she steps fully into it or holds back. The truth is, she's already leaning toward you emotionally. Your job is to meet her at that level, not to chase, convince, or plead. Now let's uncover the hidden psychological triggers that make her feel she belongs to you, even before you ever say a word. These are the invisible levers of female attraction, and understanding them separates men who endlessly chase from men who are quietly irresistible. First, emotional calibration. Women subconsciously scan men for emotional stability. When you remain composed under pressure, respond to challenges calmly, and maintain your own emotional rhythm, she registers it as safety and strength. Her mind interprets this as a foundation she can lean on, which is why she begins mentally including you in her life. This is not manipulation. It's psychology working in your favor. Next is subtle exclusivity. Notice how she shares certain parts of herself, her humor, small frustrations, her daily victories, with you and not with others. She's testing whether you are a safe container for her internal world. If you respond thoughtfully, with validation and understanding, she experiences a deep sense of connection. That sense of being seen and understood triggers her attachment without her even realizing it. Her mind equates your presence with emotional security, and this is when she begins to feel that she is yours mentally, even if she hasn't said it aloud. Another trigger is strategic tension. Women are drawn to men who can create a subtle push and pull without hostility. When you respond to her tests with calm self-assurance, sometimes teasing, sometimes reflective, she subconsciously feels the emotional chase is balanced. You're not desperate, not pleading, not overly available, and that absence of need sparks a stronger, deeper attraction. She begins to mentally rehearse scenarios where you are already part of her life, even if she consciously doesn't acknowledge it yet. Physical and nonverbal resonance is another invisible trigger. Simple things, maintaining eye contact, matching her energy, leaning slightly toward her when she shares, send signals of alignment and connection. Your physical presence combined with emotional consistency creates an invisible gravitational pull. She senses it instinctively, and her subconscious begins to anchor her emotions to you. This is how she starts prioritizing you mentally and emotionally without a single word of commitment. Finally, the ultimate trigger is your ability to make her feel valued, not by words, but by presence. When she notices that you notice her, her energy, her moods, her uniqueness, she experiences a sense of belonging. That belonging creates attachment before she ever consciously admits her feelings. These triggers are quiet, almost invisible, but powerful. Recognize them, respond wisely, and she will feel she is already yours even before you ever claim it. Now we arrive at the final truth, the point where all the subtle signs, tests, and psychological triggers converge, and you can solidify her emotional investment so deeply that she feels inseparable from you. This is where most men fail. They see the signals but don't know how to respond with precision. Here's the secret. It's not about grand gestures, constant messages, or dramatic declarations. It's about creating an invisible emotional gravity, a magnetic pull that she cannot resist because it aligns perfectly with her subconscious desires. First, reinforce her sense of emotional security. When she shows signs of attachment, subtle touches, laughter, shared secrets, mirror her energy without losing your composure. Validate her presence, acknowledge her emotions, but never overcommit or chase. Your calm, grounded confidence tells her subconscious that you are the man who can hold space for her fully. This is the invisible glue that keeps her emotionally tethered, even when you're not physically present. Next, cultivate moments of emotional highs and shared intimacy. These don't have to be extreme or dramatic. They can be as simple as meaningful conversations, a laugh that lingers, or playful teasing that builds chemistry. The key is to create memorable emotional imprints in her mind. Women anchor feelings to experiences, not words. Every moment you create where she feels joy, excitement, or understood becomes another thread weaving her attachment to you. She begins to think of you as someone indispensable, someone whose absence would leave a void. Also, master the art of subtle exclusivity. Let her feel that she's uniquely seen and appreciated by you, that your attention isn't casually given to anyone else. This triggers a profound emotional response. She begins to feel that she belongs to you, mentally and emotionally, before you ever declare it. She internalizes the idea of us because her subconscious has already been trained to associate her happiness and security with your presence. Finally, maintain your independence. This might seem counterintuitive, but the more grounded and self-contained you are, the more she will lean in emotionally. Women are drawn to men who have their own lives, passions, and stability. Men who don't need them to feel complete, but whose presence enhances their world. When you combine this independence with emotional attunement, shared highs, and subtle exclusivity, you become the anchor she didn't realize she needed, but now cannot imagine living without. The truth is, she's already imagined a life with you. Every glance, every smile, every small investment she's made in your connection is proof. Your task is simple yet profound. Notice, respond wisely, and hold yourself with calm authority. Do that, and she won't just be interested. She will feel she is already yours, deep down, long before anything is spoken. That's the hidden power of female psychology, and it's now yours to understand.